Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Sasuke is secretly a girl, and likes Naruto, part 4. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. After breakfast, Team 7 and Sai were ready to leave for home. Thanks for everything guys, Aiko says, after shaking Takashi's, Naruto's, and Sai's hands. You're welcome to Naruto grin. Akiko smiles at Sasuke. I'm glad my sleepwear fits you. It was yours. Then, how come I'm allowed to keep it? Because blue is not my color, answers the fiery Redeed. I don't see the point of keeping something I am never going to wear, so I am giving it to you. But keep it, I insist. Sasuke sighed. Alright, Akiko smirked then. Besides, I'm pretty sure Naruto thought the color was perfect on you. And how do you know that? Sasuke asks, raising an eyebrow. Call it a princess's intuition. Sasuke just looked at her skeptically until Sakura finally emerged from the palace. I'm ready. Kakashi shook his head. Don't drink so much orange juice in the morning next time, Sakura. Sakura blushed, causing the fellow teens to chuckle in amusement. After Team 7 had climbed aboard onto Sai's bird, they waved goodbye to the royal twins before taking off for home. The next day, Hinata had just returned from an assassination mission only to find Naruto and Sai in her living room, lounging on her couch, looking right at home. Eyes, I'm tired. Get out. The two turned to see Hinata, decked out in one of her night mission outfits. She wore a sleeveless, halter-neck navy blue jumpsuit with a hood over her head, and a face mask concealing the bottom half of her face. A black pouch was worn around her waist where she kept her weapons inside. On her feet, she wore knee-high black boots, and on her hands, she wore fingerless black gloves. Why is it you always come back home with not even a speck of blood on you? Naruto asks, annoyed. Because I don't like getting my clothes dirty. It's a nightmare to wash blood off clothes, you know. Don't forget the smell, Sai adds. Naruto arches an eyebrow at that. If worse comes to worse, we have more than enough money to buy new ones if need be. Hinata sighs then, withdrawing her hood, and lets down the mask. The three of them were the top ninjas in Konoha, so money was never an issue, but for Hinata, she wasn't much of a spender, and was pretty stingy when it came to her money, whereas Naruto was pretty generous, like donating money to the orphanage and the academy. Sai on the other hand just spent most of his money on art supplies. Exhausted, Hinata went over to the couch, and moved to lie down, not caring that her two friends were sitting there. She let her head rest on Sai's lap, and moved her feet on Naruto's lap, making herself comfortable. Naruto's eyebrow twitched with annoyance. Couldn't you sleep on your own bed, and not on us? He didn't receive an answer, all he got was Hinata's shallow breathing in return. Great, she's asleep. How now? Asks the blonde. I'll take her, you need to go see Tsunade anyway. You know how she gets when you're late. Naruto groans. I've only just got back from a mission. Does she really have to send me on another one? You know she'll only call us if she seriously needs us, so you should better go. Naruto sighs in defeat, and carefully picks up Hinata's legs to get up from the couch. He sets them back down on the couch, and looks at Sai. Make sure she gets to bed, Sai. You know I will. Naruto nods, and leaves, leaving Sai and a sleeping Hinata alone. It was rare for Sai to see such a defenseless Hinata, so he took the opportunity to study her. Her lips were full, and utterly kissable. For the first time in his life, he noticed how long the girl's eyelashes were, and he also noticed that her hair had gotten considerably longer than the last time he saw her. The tips of her midnight blue hair were touching the nape of her neck. I hope she lets her hair grow. Sai always thought that Hinata would look gorgeous with long hair, but due to her laziness, she would usually cut it short. But she hasn't recently though. Maybe she's been too busy to cut it. With taking Sasuke as her charge now and all, it makes sense. Or maybe she has never noticed it. Or maybe she's purposely letting it grow. Sai looked at his love interest with curiosity, wondering about the change. Absent-mindedly, the ghostly pale teenager began tracing Hinata's right eyebrow, following its arch with his finger, and lightly brushing her hair away from her pretty face. Suddenly, he found his hand in a tight grip, and he saw that Hinata was awake. What were you doing? She asked him. Memorizing your features so that I sketch your sleeping face later, he answers, as nonchalantly as usual. Hinata raised an eyebrow at him, but Sai just smirked. Come on, I'll escort you to bed, so that you can rest properly. Hinata rolled her eyes, and let her friend carry her bridal style to her bedroom, deciding it best not question him further on his behavior. She brushed it off, as Sai being his usual weird self. You wanted to see me? Naruto asked, as he entered the office. Swan nodded, and changed to Akuma first. Your new client will arrive in a minute. Naruto raised an eyebrow, but did, as he was told. He started performing the necessary hand signs. Sasuke entered the Hokage's office to find that it was unbelievably warm. Are the fans broken or something? Hokage-sama, you cannot be serious. Sasuke looked up, and her jaw dropped. Akuma Kitsune. There was no mistaking it. The sun-kissed complexion, the long crimson red hair in a ponytail, and that deep, manly, raspy voice speaking was definitely him. The tall man turned, and made eye contact with her. Black slitted eyes, the color of dried blood, stared back at the coal onyx black eyes of Sasuke. Eventually, much to Sasuke's shame, she turned away. Akuma was intimidating to her. Akuma raised an eyebrow at that. He did not expect her to turn away first. He looked down on himself to check if he was wearing clothes. He was. He used to have a problem performing his henges without new clothes, so Naruto just double-checked to be sure. Maybe I just look too hot for her, he thought, smirking, causing his fangs to show. Akuma was wearing a crimson red deep V-neck shirt, a black leather jacket, dark navy blue jeans, and on his feet were leather boots. He looked pretty darn sexy. No one could deny that. Tsunade coughed then, catching Sasuke and Akuma's attention. From now on Akuma, you are to train Sasuke. We would like you to teach all the fire ninjutsu you know. Wasn't Kakashi training her in her element? Akuma asked, raising an eyebrow at the news. He's run out of things to teach her. You are the only next logical choice. Akuma sighed, Mendakus. Have you told Tenchi? She will be made aware later tonight when she comes to see me for her weekly report. Akuma sighs again, obviously unhappy with this, but turns to Sasuke, you okay with this? Well, I have heard of your prowess as a fire ninjutsu user from Kakashi, so it'll definitely be good for my training to have you as my sensei. Akuma deadpanned, do not call me sensei, call me. He looked at her blankly for a minute lost in thought until he suddenly smirked. Shushu. From now on, I'm Akuma Shushu to you, and don't you forget it, Sasuke-chan. Sasuke was about to yell at him until she saw that he was quickly forming hand signs, but before she could use her Sharingan to see the signs, Akuma was surrounded in a whirlwind of flames. Sasuke's jaw dropped, but she then shielded her face when she realized the flames were closing in on her, and stepped back. When she felt the room's temperature drop back to normal, she looked back to find the red-haired man gone, and a very pissed-off Hokage. He bloody burned my carpet again. On the way to the training grounds to meet Akuma, Sasuke remembered her talk with Tenchi yesterday. Flashback, Akuma is a real womanizer, so do not fall for any of his tricks. Warns the blue-haired woman. I whooped the young girl, assured Tenchi. He loves women, and enjoys the effect he has on them, so beware. Understood. Sasuke nodded. Let me know if he does anything inappropriate. Hi-sensei. Sasuke sighed at her mentor's concern. End of flashback. Like I would even fall for him in the first place, he's good looking, and all, but I. Good morning, Sasuke-chan. Slept well. Sasuke looked up to see Akuma, who looked devilishly handsome, as usual. Fine. So how are we going to do this? Asked Sasuke, not wasting any time. Akuma smirked, you're going to fight me with all you've got. But there are stipulations. Sasuke nodded, urging him to continue. No weapons are allowed, you can only use fire ninjutsu, and nothing else. I'll allow you to use chakra pills to replenish your chakra. As for me, I'll only be using Taijutsu. Sasuke was baffled. Only Taijutsu for you. But I am a cage level ninja, I can handle myself just fine, the red-haired man assured her. Cage? Akuma smirked, so you ready, kid? The serious expression formed on Sasuke's face as she moved to a battle stance. Prepare yourself. The man smirked in return, this is going to be interesting. Thanks for your hard work, says Shizune, ending the medical ninjutsu lesson with her two students. Hey Shizune-san. Yes, Ino-chan, answered the short-haired woman. Tenten and I were wondering if you had any idea on how the two of us can improve as ninjas. Finished the brunette impatiently. Shizune blinked at them in surprise, but she saw the expressions on their faces, realizing that they were really serious. Interesting. Well, I guess it looks like these two were inspired by Team 7, as well, she thought to herself. She looked over at the two girls carefully, and thought it through thoroughly. I'll start with Ino. Ino-chan, most of the attacks in your arsenal now are medium to long range, correct? Hence, I think you should work on your Taijutsu and hand-to-hand combat. It is always a good idea to be formidable whenever you can. Maybe afterwards, you can think about learning elemental ninjutsu if you really want to. Ino nodded slowly, taking it all in. Shizune turned to Tenten. Tenten, have you ever thought about learning? The genin in question blinked at her. Learning, it'll take years, patience and... Shizune smiled. You're young, my dear, I'm sure you can do it. Tenten smiled back, and nodded. You could also think about learning some elemental ninjutsu too if you want. I think it is always good to know some ninjutsu in case of any emergency. Tenten and Ino nodded, getting her point. Shizune smiled, all seriousness gone. So now that that's done, let's go have our lunch now, shall we? Hi. Answers the hungry girls. Sasuke's limbs were aching, she was struggling to regain her focus. Damn it, the pale-skinned girl's knees buckled, and her eyelids fluttered before she began to fall backwards. I can't anymore, the easy kid. Akuma appeared behind her, and caught her with ease. He gently began to lower the body down to the ground, and into a comfortable sitting position. Sasuke's back rested against his chest, whilst Akuma's strong arms encircled her slender waist from behind. He's so close. Akuma held Sasuke's right hand in his, and said in her ear, Sasuke, if you're still conscious, say something. Sasuke wasted no time in replying to him, you're too damn fast, stupid kitsune. Akuma let out an amused chuckle at the response. Good thing she's alright. The fanged man smirked, as began to stroke his pupil's hand with his thumb. There's a reason why one of my nicknames is Speed Demon Kid. Sasuke clicked her tongue in annoyance at the arrogance in his voice, completely ignoring the fact that he was stroking her hand so familiarly. You suck. You were toying with me the entire damn time. Akuma chuckled again, stopped stroking her hand, and kissed her on the cheek. You fulfilled my expectations though. Good job. Sasuke's face flamed then. No wonder Tenchi-sensei warned me about him. Sasuke immediately pried her hand away from her. You can't just kiss me and touch me like this. I'll tell. Akuma laughed. Oh Sasuke. If you really disliked my touch, you would have pushed me away by now, wouldn't you? Sasuke's face turned even redder at that. I'm just not leaving because his embrace is just too damn comfortable. Plus I'm tired. Akuma turned serious then, bringing Sasuke back to reality. However, jokes aside, it is time for me to tell you my assessment of you from what I've seen today. Sasuke sighed. She was really tired and really in no mood. First off, Tenchi has trained you well. Your stamina and speed has definitely improved since you were Guy. You could definitely give Kakashi and Guy a good run for their money, and with a bit more practice, you might just be able to actually dream of challenging me and Tenchi to a race, he says, smirking at the end. Sasuke frowned at what her new trainer had said, while Akuma continued. Your chakra reserves are pretty big, but not enough to last you with our spar just now. You also obviously lack the ability to strategize considering the fact you wasted no time in pulling out the big guns. Sasuke's frown turned to a scowl and tried to defend herself. You're a high-level ninja. Wouldn't it make sense for me to use a high level against you? Akuma turned his head so that it was no longer resting on Sasuke's shoulder, but now facing her with a serious expression on his face. Yes, but you need to go about it smartly. You can't just keep running into a fight without thinking. Sasuke's scowl deepened, her irritation with Akuma rising. Why not? I've done it plenty of times. But you got your ass kicked for quite a while, till you came up with an idea on how to win, right? He countered calmly. Sasuke cringed then, remembering how she always winged it in her fights. I still won in the end anyway, she grumbled. You could finish the fight a lot faster if you entered the battle with at least some sort of battle plan in mind, you know. Sasuke sighed, realizing that she should just give up on the argument. She didn't have the drive to argue with him any further. You will definitely save on energy, and chakra too, he added pointedly. Fine, I got the Uchiha relented. Akuma smirked at her, and snuggled his face into Sasuke's neck, causing the girl to blush. Good, now I think the first thing I'm going to have to do with you is help you get those chakra reserves of yours to get bigger. Sasuke immediately turned her head, and looked at the red-haired man, as if was crazy. You cannot be serious. Akuma moved his head so that their faces were just inches away from each other, and deadpanned. Do I look like I'm joking? Sasuke got up from her comfortable sitting position with him, and turned so that her body faced him. Tenchi-sensei and I are doing medical ninjutsu right now, which requires chakra control. The bigger my reserves get, the harder I'll be to control the chakra. Akuma nodded, which means in between practices, you're going to have to work on your chakra control. But you're supposed to train me in fire ninjutsu, retorted the Uchiha. Akuma nodded, and got up from the ground. Yes, and I'm planning to teach you will require a hell lot of chakra. You need to get bigger reserves, Sasuke. Sasuke sighed, so much to learn. Suddenly, Sasuke felt a numbing sensation go through her body. Her knees buckled once more before everything went black. Shizune had just left the restaurant with her two Genin students when they bumped into Hinata. Hinata-chan, where are you from? The girl in question turned and smiled at her sensei, but Ino and Tenten paid no attention to their conversation, as they were in shock, gawking at her new appearance. Hinata, like Team 7, had apparently gotten a makeover. She had grown her hair until the tips of her hair just touched her shoulders, with hair bangs elegantly framing her face. There was this look in her eyes where you could tell that she was no longer the shy, timid girl she once was. She had gained confidence and maturity over what had happened to her the past year, and it showed. Hinata wore a long-sleeve lavender hooded top, blue 3/4 pants that matched the regulation Genin sandals, and around her petite waist, she wore a black pouch where the girls suspected Hinata kept her medical supply or poisons, or perhaps even both. But like before, Hinata still wore her Konoha headband tied around her neck. Hi Ino-chan, Tenten-chan, Hinata said. Hey, nice makeover, Ino managed to say. Thank you, Hinata smiled. So where are you from? Tenten asked. To a friend's house. He called me for a favor. This girl overexerts herself too much, Hinata tells her friend, as she tucks Sasuke into bed. Naruto sighs tiredly. Well, you know Sasuke, got to push her limits, and put 200% in everything. Right, Hinata answers, as she walks over to turn off the bedroom light. Naruto closes the door behind him after casting one last glance at his sleeping teammate. You know I think she likes me. Hinata froze in mid-step. Why would you think that? He knows. Naruto laughs at her reaction. No, not me. Akuma. Hinata turns to look at her longtime friend, and folds her arm across her chest. Okay, and why the hell do you think she'll be interested in Akuma of all people? The blonde frowns, because Akuma is hot. Why else would women not fall for him? Hinata rolled her eyes. Sasuke isn't like normal girls. I know, but when I was flirting with her, as Akuma, she didn't resist my touch. Hinata shrugs then, maybe her hormones are acting up. Because like you said, Akuma is hot after all. Naruto smirks, damn right. Hinata rolls her eyes at her friend, and stands by the door to wait for him to open it for her. Just as the two leave the house, Naruto asks another question. So Hinata, do you find Akuma hot too then? There was a long pregnant silence until Hinata finally answered, "Shut up, Naruto-chan." Sasuke awoke the next morning, in her own bed, feeling exhausted. "Wait, I'm in bed. Did Akuma take me back?" She looked around to find a note from him or something, but a sharp pain in her stomach stopped her. She clutched her abdomen, her face screwed up in pain. She looked down then to find a color change in her bed sheets. Instead of the usual powder blue, there were various patches of crimson red. "Crap, don't tell me, I'm having my period now." Before Sasuke could curse her bad luck, her bedroom door was kicked open, and she looked up to see that it was Tenchi. "What the hell, Uchiha? I waited for you an entire fucking hour, and you're still in bed." Sasuke's eyes widened before turning to the clock. 8. "Sensei, I apologize. You woke up with your period." Tenchi interrupted, looking at the stained sheets. Sasuke blushed, embarrassed at her situation. "Yeah." Tenchi sighed. "Alright, you excuse for the day. Get your ass out of bed so I can clean up this mess." Sasuke blinked her eyes in disbelief at her mentor's kindness. Uchiha, just go." Sasuke complied, and began gathering her things, while Tenchi made a grab for the soiled sheets. Sasuke had just finished drying her hair when the strong, delicious smell of something she hasn't had since she was a kid wafted to her nose. She hung her wet towel on the towel rack in her room before leaving the room to find out whether she was right. "Are those pancakes? They smell really good," Sasuke couldn't help but say, as she sat at the table. "Yup, and they are right about done," Tenchi answered, flipping them once more before turning the stove off, and transferring them to a large platter. "Breakfast is served," she announced, placing the platter on the table. "Thank you, Sensei," Sasuke tells her sensei before taking the maple syrup and drowning her pancakes in it. "Itadakimasu," Sasuke says before hungrily digging into her food. Tenchi smiles at this, and watches her, amused. "Aren't you going to eat?" "I already did." "Oh." Sasuke continued eating, but Tenchi saw the look on her face, and sighed. "I don't blame you for being tired and oversleeping, you know. I'm not mad." "Really?" Sasuke asked. "Really?" Tenchi assures her. Sasuke nodded, and went back to eating until she remembered something. "Hey sensei." "Yes?" "How do you know Akuma?" "I've always wanted to ask you about it, but..." Tenchi raised her hand to interrupt Sasuke before speaking. "I've known Akuma since we were little. Were your parents friends or something?" "Oh no, Akuma's parents died a long time ago. He's an orphan. On that day, he was trying to run away from some bullies who..." "Akuma used to be bullied. Well, with unnatural looks like his, it's not uncommon to pick on about it, right?" Sasuke nodded her head slowly, trying to imagine Akuma being bullied. "So you rescued him?" "Yeah, I took him to my family's compound to hide. We became friends from then on." "Family compound? So you're from a clan?" "I was banished." "Why?" Sasuke asked, wondering what idiot clan would make such a strong ninja leave. A bitter expression formed on the older female's face then, because in their eyes, I was a disgrace. It did not matter that my father was the clan head. In fact, it was my father who made me leave. Sasuke cringed, remembering Hinata. She was about to ask how old her mentor was then, but Tenchi went on. "Actually, Akuma almost killed my father in a fit of rage." Sasuke's eyes widened. "Really?" "Yup, I'm glad he came to his senses." Sasuke was remorseful before asking her next question. "Another question, if I may ask, how did you know Itachi?" Tenchi winced, and Sasuke realized then that it was a sensitive topic. So here's where you girls are." The Kunoichi turned to see Akuma coming in through the window. "Why were you looking for us?" Tenchi asked. The red-haired man smirked and ruffled Sasuke's hair, "To see how my student is doing, of course." "No training today." "Nope," Tenchi answered, not bothering to elaborate on why. Akuma looked at her with a look that said he wanted details, but Tenchi ignored it. Akuma sighed, and moved to sit next to his best friend. He casually kissed her on the cheek, as he sat down. "No pancakes for me." "You can take some if you want," Sasuke tells him, gesturing to the platter in between them. Akuma smirked. "Don't mind if I do, but I'll need to get my plate and a fork first." Tenchi passed him what he wanted before he got a chance to get up. "Here." Akuma smirked. "Why thank you. Aren't you the best?" He kissed her again, but this time at the corner of her mouth, shocking Sasuke, but her mentor didn't seem to care, and just smiled. "You two are really not dating?" Sasuke asked. "No," they answered in unison. "Then why?" "Because he's always liked that," the duo answered together. Sasuke nodded slowly, but she could not help feeling a little jealous of Tenchi to have someone so close and familiar with by her side like Akuma. "Will I ever have a relationship like that?" A month later, Sasuke awoke with a start and saw Kakashi looking down at her. "Am I boring you?" Sasuke was about to answer, but then she realized that her head was resting on someone's shoulder. She looked up to see Naruto's concerned blue eyes looking at her. "Didn't you get enough sleep last night?" Sasuke coughed and inches herself away from Naruto. "I'm fine." Naruto was not convinced, but before he could say so, Sakura got up from the grass and sat next to him. She locked her arm with his and rested her head on his shoulder. She cast a smirk at Sasuke's way, which got her glare in return. "Sasuke, what's with you?" Kakashi asked, wondering why his student has been so distracted lately. Sasuke sighed. "I finally got my chakra levels as high as Akuma wanted." "And that's bad?" Naruto asked, confused. Sasuke lost it then, because my chakra levels are higher, it's harder for me to control it in my medical techniques. I keep messing up because of my lack of control, hence my progress is slow in my training with Tenchi. It fucking pisses me off. Seeing how angry she was, Kakashi took a step back whilst Naruto and Sakura cautiously inched themselves away. Sakura-chan, are there any chakra control exercises you can suggest to Sasuke? Kakashi asked. Sakura frowned at the thought. No, I mean all of us have pretty much mastered all the chakra control exercises I know. Actually, I might know one that can help Sasuke. Everyone turned to Naruto then, who had a mischievous grin on his face. What do you have in mind, Naruto? Kakashi asked, curious. We need to go to the hot springs mixed baths first. Sakura entered the mixed baths with caution. They had no idea what Naruto was planning. Hello ladies. Kakashi greeted them. He was sitting on the edge of the bath, soaking his feet. The girls were disappointed to see that Kakashi had used a small towel to cover the bottom half of his face. Damn you Kakashi. Sakura, aren't you going to get in? Sakura turns to see Naruto in the water already. Oh, his hair looks so cute when it's wet. Sakura, suddenly not feeling shy anymore with the fact that she only had a towel on, excitedly went over to Naruto's side. Naruto smiled at this, and held out his hand to her. Sakura accepted it, and carefully entered the bath. It's hot. It's 60 degrees to be precise, Naruto told her. What about me? Asked an irritated Sasuke, watching the two with gritted teeth. Naruto smirked. Your task is to walk on the bath to the other side using chakra. Sasuke looked at him like he was an idiot. Dope, we've walked on water before. True, but this is hot water. Kakashi said. With water of this temperature, you must control your chakra even more if you want to walk on it. Sasuke's eyes widened, causing Naruto to grin. Good idea, right? It's not a good idea, it's a great idea, Naruto. Sakura gushed. Oh shucks, you have to thank Abisu-sensei for teaching it to me, Naruto answered modestly. Sasuke looked at the water with determination. I'll definitely pass this. Sasuke took a deep breath before concentrating her chakra onto her feet. Hope this works. Unfortunately for Sasuke, things were never easy for her. There was a yelp causing Kakashi, Sakura, and Naruto to turn. Ugh. Sasuke grunts as she gets up from the bath. Keep trying, Sasuke. Naruto cheered. Although, if you keep that up, you're going to end up with a boiled egg, Kakashi told her. Sasuke scowled at the white-haired man. If the dope can do this, then I sure as hell can. Sakura smiled at Sasuke's confidence, but could not hide her laughter at Sasuke's failed attempts afterwards. Poor Sasuke. The next day, that afternoon, Sasuke rushed to Training Ground 7 after her training with Tenchi. After completing her hot water exercise yesterday, Kakashi told his team that all the genins were required to meet up with their teachers at the training ground the next day. It was also mandatory because the Hokage would be there along with some guests of hers. What does that woman have in mind? Sasuke. Sasuke stopped running to see everyone was there, waiting for her. Your lady Chihiniji chides her, as she walks past him. Sasuke stopped in her tracks, and turned to look at the older teen. Mind you Hyuga, I had training just minutes before, she pointed out, glaring at him. The atmosphere was becoming tense, so Naruto, as always, stepped in. Ma. No fighting you two. Sakura tried to get Sasuke's attention away from Niji by asking her how her earlier training was. Did actually. I finally managed to get that technique, and we finally moved on to the next chapter. Which is? Sakura asked. Treating burns. Sakura smiled sympathetically. Good luck, it'll take forever for you to finish that because there's a lot to cover. Sasuke grimaced at the thought. She hated learning all this medical shit. Hinata isn't here yet either, Shino says suddenly, which was rare. Yeah, where is she? Kiba asks. Maybe I should go over to her place and... Good afternoon brats. Everyone turned to see Tsunade with Shizune in tow, and immediately bowed in respect to the blonde, Hokage-sama. Except of course, Naruto. Yo? What's up Bachan? Tsunade gave him a stern look before out of nowhere, grabbing him into a headlock to give him a noogie. Who are you calling grandma? Shizune watched Naruto, and Tsunade had fun, smiling. Those two really have a good relationship. Shishu. Why are we here? Sakura asks, curious. Tsunade reluctantly released Naruto from her hold, but ruffled his hair much to Naruto's secret delight. He loved it when people touched his hair. He could never understand why, as she spoke, because we're going to have a contest. Contest? Repeated the Konoha 12. Tsunade stopped ruffling Naruto's hair, and patted the boy on the head. The genin teams will fight each other. Whichever team wins gets to fight the sand team. At that moment, the Set Ninja team appeared in a whirlwind of sand next to Tsunade. Naruto grinned widely at seeing his friend and fellow, Gar. Long time no see buddy. Gar smiled slightly in greeting, as Naruto came over to his side to slap him on the back. So what do we get if we defeat the sand team? Kiba asked. Kankuro snorted, causing Shino to turn to him, which shut Kankuro up immediately. I don't ever want to mess with that bug freak ever again. You guys get to have a 1-week vacation with us at our house, and Tsunatomari answers. Shikamaru deadpanned, isn't it just hot sun and sand? A desert wasteland. Tamari glared at him, but Shikamaru didn't care, and just yawned. Watching this, Ino shook her head. Stupid lazy dumbus. The trip is all expenses paid, so whatever you buy, I'll pay for it, Tsunade adds, causing everyone to turn to her in shock. All expenses paid. For an entire week. We're in. says the Konoha ninjas in unison. Swan smirks. Alright then. Let's get started. The men sigh. Everyone turned to see Hinata running toward them. Hokage-sama. I am so sorry. You're forgiven. Now catch your breath and get over to your teammates so they can fill you in. Hinata nodded and did as she was told, unaware how everyone was gawking at her new look. Naruto, Ino, and Tenten enjoyed the expressions on the ninjas' faces as they studied Hinata. She looks all grown up, Niji thought. Shizune claps her hands to get the Konoha 12's attention. Alright Mina-san. The first team to go up would be Team Guy and Team 8. Almost immediately, everyone at the ground turned to look at Hinata's and Niji's reaction to the news. Surprisingly, Hinata was nonchalant whilst Niji looked shocked. Hinata turns and curiously looks at her blood cousin, causing Niji to make direct eye contact with her. What is she thinking? Niji wondered. Guys, let's go, Hinata says, gesturing to her teammates. The two teens nodded and followed after her, causing Naruto to frown. Don't let your emotions show, Hina. I know you're angry, but please. Tenten puts her hand on her boyfriend's shoulder. Niji grunts of all the attention he was getting presently at the moment. Let's just go. Lee grins, his enthusiasm for the match had showing. Yosh. Tenten on the other hand was frowning. Is he really alright? Niji never told me whether Hinata and him had ever reconciled, and he always avoided the topic whenever I tried to ask. Just how will this work out? At the training area, Team 8 and Team Guy got into positions, their eyes on one another, as the others watched from the sides. Will Hinata be okay? Ino thought worriedly, looking at Hinata's neutral expression. Tsunade got into the middle of the two teams, acting as proctor for the tournament. Go all out, kids. Hajime. Before any of Team Guy's members could move, they noticed Hinata already acting quickly. They watched as she took out some smoke bombs and released them onto the ground, shrouding herself and her teammates in its smoke. Niji activated his Byakugan immediately on instinct, but to his surprise, they weren't in sight. What the? Miss? Lee asked aloud. Tenten looked up to see a heavy mist coming towards them, which meant only one thing. Teammate had a strategy in mind. Niji, keep your Byakugan up. Alert us if you see any movement, says Lee, as he gets into a battle stance. Hi. It was silent for a few minutes, putting Team Guy's genes on edge, Tenten in particular, who could not stop twirling her in her hands. What the heck were they planning? It was then when Tenten felt something crawling over her legs. She pocketed her right kunai and reached her hand down to brush it off, but a strangled scream left her throat when her eyes finally noticed the army of fire ants that were swarming over her legs. Adrenaline pumped through her as she jumped backward and scrambled to slap the small biting creatures off of the red inflamed skin on her legs. Help. Tenten looked up in desperation for assistance, but only to see that Niji and Rock Lee had their own battles with fire ants to deal with. She watched as Niji violently flipped his head over and ran his hands through his long, always carefully looked after brown hair wildly to brush off the ants. He angrily and loudly cussed Ashino as he did so. Damn you, Abiram. Stop this nonsense and fight like a ninja, you. Tenten then decided that she need not hear anymore, so she turned her attention to Rock Lee, who had pulled down his jumpsuit to reveal his torso. The top half of his body was totally red from all the mad scratching he was doing, his face scrunching up in agony as he did so. Tenten could not help it. Her teammates looked so helpless, and she had no idea what to do either. She felt tears forming her eyes. Stop please, do you surrender? Tenten's eyes widened and looked around, still scratching at her legs. That sounded like Kiba. Niji? I heard Kiba just now. The Hyuga prodigy growled in response. He really was not in any mood to entertain anyone at the moment. Tenten, I am in no way or form to focus right now. Could you? Niji was cut off in mid-sentence, as he was tackled to the ground by a shrouded figure. Tenten squinted her eyes only to realize that it was Kiba. Oh shit. Niji? Lee cried out, noticing his teammate in distress. But before Lee could make any move to help, he realized that he was immobile when she fell face first onto the ground. He turned on his back with a grunt of pain to find that his feet were bound together, making him immobile. The bullets. Tenten meanwhile could not believe the situation she was in. Her hands were no longer her own. She could not stop scratching at her legs, thus she could not use her weapons. There was no way they could get out of this situation, hence there was only one thing to do. Stop. Just stop, we forfeit. Smart move, she heard Hinata say before feeling a tap on her shoulder. Tenten blinked, astounded, and began to look around at her surroundings. The sun was scorching hot, no essence of a mist ever being in the area. The terrifying atmosphere and the feeling of danger was no longer felt, and when her eyes finally settled upon Niji and Lee, they were both fine, but they looked just as stricken and jittery as she was. She found the members of Team 8 standing close by. Hinata stood next to her, whereas Kiba was on Lee's right, and Shino was at Niji left. How? Tenten asked, shaky from what had just occurred. It was, wasn't it? Lee asked, realizing it. Kiba grinned and wrapped an arm around Lee's neck in a brotherly gesture. You betcha. Hinata's just awesome. Niji repeated, amazed. Shino nodded. Hinata-chan has been training under Kurenai-sensei as a specialist for quite some time now. The members of Team Guy looked at Hinata in surprise, but before she could react to it, Tsunade interrupted. Team Guy forfeits so Team 8 wins this round. At that, the other Genin teams at the side clapped in respect, even though all they saw was Team Guy reacting under the spell of Hinata's, and her teammates watching their opponents suffer in amusement. Way to go you guys, yelled Naruto. Awesome job, cheered Ino. Now, you two. Don't get too excited. Kakashi tells the blondes. Asuma smirks, yeah cause you two are going next. Against each other. The blondes froze, and looked at each other before breaking out into smirks. Looking forward to it. As Team 7 and Team 10 made their way to the fields, with Team 7, guys shouldn't we come up with a plan? Sakura asked. We are going up against Shikamaru's team. Sasuke scoffed, police it's a team of a lazy ass, a dumb blonde, and a fatso. Why should we be worried? We'll be fine, no need to worry. We'll just wing it, as always. Naruto shook his head, you're wrong Sasuke. Naruto is known to be incredibly smart, you've missed Shika's match at the Chunin finals, so you don't know how good of a battle strategist he can be. Sakura nodded in agreement, plus, Ino and Choji shouldn't be underestimated either. Did you know that their fathers along with Shikamaru's father were a team called Ino Shaikochou? They were one of the best ninja factions in Konoha history. Now Team 10 is the second generation of that. Their fathers would have definitely taught them some stuff. Plus Ino has been taking her ninja training very seriously, as of late, so we need to be careful. There is no telling what that devious mind of hers can come up with, Naruto pointed out. Sakura nodded, remembering her match with Ino at the Chunin preliminaries, while Sasuke looked skeptical. Whatever, with Team 10, Shika, which plan are we using? Ino asked. I don't know, we'll try see. This will be hard cause we're facing Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Choji nodded, the unpredictable ninja, the ticking time bomb, and a wild card. Shikamaru groaned, this will be troublesome. Ino smacked him upside the head then, would it kill you to be a little optimistic? The Naruto just grunted in response. Ready? Hajime. Shikamaru wasted no time in using his shadow binding technique, causing Team 7 to abandon their offensive stances and retreat, jumping backward, but their eyes still on Shikamaru. When they finally got out of his range, Naruto tried to think of a way of how they could attack without getting caught in Naruto's signature. But then something caught his eye, Ino's smirking face. Not a good sign. Naruto watched warily, as Choji gave into a lift, and she jumped high into the air, and forward with her arms flying out. Sasuke frowned at this, what is she trying to pull? There's no way she could make it, as far as they were from them. It was only then that Sakura got what Ino was getting at when she saw Shikamaru's shadow grow. Guys. Double back. Reacting quickly, Team 7 doubled back once more, creating even more distance, but out of Shikamaru's range. Naruto deadpanned, Shikamaru was trying to pull out the tricks he used in his Chunin finals. He had to be alert. Sasuke groaned, okay, this was tougher than I thought. Oh now you think so? Hissed Sakura. Ladies now is not the time to argue, Naruto says, not in the mood to deal with his female teammates bickering. The girls became sheepish, and softly apologized. Never mind, Sakura, you said you could do the earth wall jutsu right? Naruto asked, turning to her with a serious expression on his face. Well yeah, but and Sasuke gets ready, I have an idea. Choji frowned, as Sakura moved in front of Naruto where Naruto then gave her shoulders a squeeze. You can do it, I believe in you. Sakura with a determined expression, gathered up her chakra, and began forming the hand signs, earth style. Earth mud wall jutsu. They opened her mouth wide, and spurted out mud, much to the amazement of Team 10 who watched, as the mud began to form, and create a huge wall in front of them. Shikamaru deadpanned, what are they up to? On the other side of the wall, Naruto grinned, and gave Sakura's shoulders another squeeze, good job. Sakura smiled while Sasuke rolled her eyes, what do you want me to do? Destroy the wall with the biggest fire you have answered Naruto, smirking knowing that Sasuke would love to. Sakura however, was against it. What? But I just made it. Sasuke smirked, you heard him, I'm destroying it now, step back. Sakura scowled, and moved to the side, dragging Naruto along with her. Sasuke ignored the angry green-eyed Kunoichi, and took a deep breath before forming the hand signs for the mat at a rapid pace, flame release. Great fireball technique. Naruto and Sakura watched, as Sasuke expelled a massive orb of roaring flames towards the mud wall, smashing through the wall, causing a humongous explosion, smoke, and chunks of the wall heading towards Team 10. Go. Making use of their distraction, Team 7 went at full force, Sakura towards Ino, Sasuke towards Shikamaru and Naruto towards Choji. Sakura and Ino, the two girls met with gritted teeth in tow. They pulled back, and Sakura started her offense, slashing at Ino, desperately trying to get a hit in, but much to her surprise Ino was avoiding her attacks faster than she remembered. Damn. Sasuke and Shikamaru. Sasuke threw a Shikamaru making Naruto stop short and duck. He turned back to see that he had hit the huge oak tree behind him, but when he turned back to face Sasuke, he saw that she was smirking, causing him to frown. What? Sasuke pointed downwards causing Shikamaru to look down, and see kunai with an explosive tag just hit the ground. Shikamaru cussed, and hightailed it out of there just in time to avoid a close impact with the explosion that erupted behind him. Damn that Uchiha. Naruto and Choji. Choji was rolling toward Naruto in his multi-size technique, causing Naruto to smirk and run toward him faster. Chaoji, unaware that Naruto was running towards him, and not away, continued rolling at his fast pace, much to Naruto's pleasure, who jumped high, and on top of Choji, using his feet to keep up with Choji. Time for some fun. Sakura, and Ino. Sakura fell hard on the ground, as Ino punched her hard in the nose. Fuck, it feels broken. Sakura then felt color intent coming her way, and moved to the side just in time to avoid some shuriken from Ino. Shit. Sakura quickly got up to a standing position, and pulled out another kunai, but before she could attack, she and Ino heard something that caused them both to turn. Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru. Naruto, get off of Choji. Sasuke was shocked, he never knew Shikamaru could get annoyed. Make me Shika. Shikamaru grunted, and reached for his kunai pouch, but before he could pull any out, his instincts told him to jump back, and when he did, he saw land where he last stood. Man, that was close. Shikamaru looked up to face Naruto again, but alas, met Naruto's foot in a hard dropkick to the face. Shikamaru fell to the ground with a thud, knocking him out effectively. Ino's eyes widened, and was about to run to her teammate, but Sakura pulled her back, and punched the blonde hard right in the kisser, knocking her out also. Chaoji meanwhile had stopped rolling when Naruto finally left him, but was now very dizzy, and was going about in circles. He stopped short when he saw Sasuke looking at him smirking. Before Chaoji could react, Sasuke put a finger to the big boned boy's head, and flicked him off, causing Chaoji to give in, and fall to the ground due to his exhaustion. Sasuke turned to the Hokage, we won now right? Tsunade sweat dropped, but called it out, winner by knockout. Team 7. Sakura smirked, Naruto grinned, and Sakura jumped up and down in glee before clutching her nose in pain. Ow, Sakura, are you alright? Naruto asked. Yeah, nothing, some chakra can't be fixed. Sakura cupped her nose with her hands, and closed her eyes. Naruto watched, as Sakura's hands glowed green, as she healed her nose. When she was done, she put her hands down, and smiled. Looks like it wasn't broken after all, if not that healing would have hurt. Naruto chuckled, I'm just glad you're okay, Sakura. Sakura blushed while Sasuke, watching from afar, seethed. Bitch. While Team 10 made their leave, Team 8 made their way to the clearing for their match against Team 7. Yo. Naruto. I'm going to kick your ass, as payback for last time. Shino sighed at his teammates' antics, and wished Kiba would focus on what will be at hand. He shook his head, as he noticed Naruto had responded to the challenge. Bring it on, dog boy, replied an enthusiastic Naruto. Sasuke, I don't want to fight Shino cause he's creepy, so I'll take on Hinata, okay? Says a grinning Sakura, but the Uchiha heir would have none of it. No way. Since when can you call dibs on an opponent? Sakura was about to retort, but Naruto stopped her. Actually, Sasuke, if you want, I could take Shino on instead. I don't mind. But didn't you, and Kiba? It's cool, besides I always wanted to see what fighting Shino would be like, Naruto told her earnestly. Sakura frowned, Naruto was way too nice with girls. Fine then. I'll take care of the mongrel that smirks at the dark-eyed Kunoichi. Naruto grins, perfect, then let's get ready. Tsunade smirked, looking at her serious genin. Ready, kids? Hajime. Team 7 were just about to run forward before Sasuke held them back. Wait, what's wrong? Sakura asked. Hinata's hand signs muttered to Sasuke in reply before activating her Sharingan. So oh crud. She's doing them too fast. Okay, horse, dog, and what? She's already done. Teammates somersaulted backward, the boys smirking, as Hinata opened her mouth, and the opposing team watched, horrified, as they witnessed huge purple smoke come out of her mouth, and towards them. Guys. Double back. Screamed Sakura, recognizing the. What the heck is that? Asked Naruto, as he and teammates ran to take cover in the forest. It's the poison mist. Chakra is needed within the body, and then changed into special chemical substances which are then ejected through the mouth. When this substance comes in contact with the air outside the body, it instantly changes, and is transformed into a mist of deadly poison. The poison's ability to kill is tremendous, as even just breathing in a small amount will mean the end of the target's life. As this technique combines ninjutsu, chemistry, and medical knowledge, using it requires fine chakra control, and advanced ability in medical ninjutsu. Sasuke blinked at her, amazed. She was pretty sure that Sakura had just directly recited the jutsu's exact description in the handbook. Naruto covered his mouth, so how are we going to fight them if there's a barrier of poison mist in between us? Sasuke deadpanned, I think Hinata would have some sort of strategy in mind. In either case, we should keep our guard up. Not to mention the fact that we have to avoid the mist at all costs, added Sakura. Pinket's teammates nodded in agreement, but before any of them could say anything else, a low growling was heard. They turned to the source of the sound, only to see huge yellow eyes glaring at them in a bush. That can't be Kiba, right? Muttered Sasuke. I certainly hope not, whispered Sakura, as she inched closer to Naruto. That's the least of our problems. The Kunoichi of the team turned to look at Naruto, wondering why he was stuttering, but when they looked down, they understood. Right, ants. Step back, Sakura. They frowned, but did, as she was told. Sasuke went over to Naruto, and held onto his wrist. This might sting a little. Sakura watched with fascination her dark-haired teammate conjure a layer of chakra over Naruto. One by one the red ants fell from Naruto's skin, dead, causing Naruto's face to relax. How did you do that? Naruto asked in awe. "A trick I learned from Shishu," replied Sasuke, smiling a little at the blonde. "You killed my pets." Sasuke turned, hearing Shino and Naruto gulping, who heard it too. "Oh boy, Naruto. Sasuke. Watch out," came a warning from Sakura. The two turned to see Kiba coming toward them. "He's mine." With a battle cry, Sasuke lunged forward, colliding with Kiba. Naruto watched as the two tussled on the grassy ground. "Keep your head in the game, Naruto." Naruto turned just in time to see Shuriken coming at him. He ducked immediately, but when he got back up, Shino came running forward with a kunai in hand. "All crud." Sakura sighed. Now what was she going to do? That's when she remembered something. There was no sign of Hinata. Arf. Sakura turned just in time for Akamaru to jump onto her and claw her clear-skinned face. She screamed in terror as she tried to pry off this small dog. "Stupid mutt. Get off of me." Naruto's sweat dropped. He didn't expect Shino to be so fast. This goes to show that you should never underestimate your opponent. Naruto ducked again. Dang it. Naruto looked around, hoping his teammates could help him. Unfortunately, Sakura was preoccupied with Akamaru and Sasuke. Kiba was on top of Sasuke. Then, at that moment, Naruto saw red. Sasuke gripped Kiba's hands tightly to keep him from trying to impale her with his kunai. Damn it. Suddenly, Kiba felt himself being picked up by the collar. He turned his head to see Naruto glaring at him with intensity. "Naruto." Without another word, Natura hurled Kiba's body to Shino's, knocking both boys off their feet. Sasuke looked at Naruto, stunned. Naruto held out his hand, and Sasuke took it awkwardly. "Dobe, are you alright?" Naruto pursed his lips, ready to say something, but was interrupted when he felt a kunai pressed against his neck. "Hinata." "Sasuke, stand down and surrender." The said Kunoichi deadpanned, unsure of what to do. Luckily, her other teammate came to the rescue. "Sorry Hinata, but you're the one that needs to stand down and surrender." "How did you get rid of Akamaru?" Hinata asked, shocked to find Sakura holding a kunai to her back. "I got mad enough at Sakura's simple reply. Now, put your kunai back in your holster." Hinata did, as was told, and sighed. "Looks like you got me." Sakura beamed. "Yup." Sasuke turned back to Hinata in disbelief. No way would it be this easy. Naruto's sweat dropped back to his usual demeanor. "You call what we just went through easy?" Hinata smirked. "You're right, this is too easy." With that, Team 7 watched, as Hinata disappeared in a puff of smoke with a tree trunk in her place. Oh shit. Sakura turned back to see that Shino and Kiba had also disappeared. "Guys, water-style exploding water colliding wave technique." Team 7 looked up just in time to see Hinata with Shino and Kiba at her side, spewing out a great volume of water from her mouth. Naruto cursed. "Run guys." Team 7 ran, and ran out until they reached an open field where the spectators could see them. Finally, huffed Kankuro, wondering why the hell they were in the forest for so long. Holy shit, Tamari cursed silently, as a huge wave of water came crashing down to Team 7. She also noticed the Team 8 were riding the waves with Hinata leading. Interesting. Sasuke spat out water, and Naruto held Sakura up into a sitting position. They were completely drenched. Yield. Now. Team 7 sighed when they saw Team 8 holding to their faces. Kiba smirked at the victory, but before he could brag about it, he realized that he was being pulled underground along with his teammates. Hinata screamed as she was pulled underground, only to see her head with a panicked expression on her face. "How? When did it happen?" Sasuke smirked. "Easy, you underestimated us. Winner." Team 7. Sakura cheered, and went over to hug Naruto, who picked her up, and swung around in glee. Sasuke, seeing this, just clicked her tongue in annoyance. "So now, you kids get to fight the Sand siblings." Team 7 froze then, and turned to see Tsunade coming towards them with the Suna ninjas. From afar, Asuma nudged Kakashi. "I bet your team won't even last 5 minutes. You're on." They shook hands, and the Hokage called the match. Hajime. Gaara wasted no time in attacking with his sand. Their opponents backed up to avoid it, but found it useless, as they were caught in a matter of seconds. "How?" Tamari scoffed at the baffled looks of Team 7, "Because you guys are tired, so it was pretty easy. Plus Gaara is really fast," added Kankuro. Naruto smirked. "Not fast enough apparently." The Suna siblings stared in shock, as Team 7 disappeared in puffs of smoke. Clones. The Suna team hurried to move to stand back to back, to engage eyes everywhere at all sides. Where would they be? The Redeed asked out loud. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Gaara, Kankuro, and Tamari felt themselves pulled downwards. When they opened their eyes, they saw Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura beaming. It was Tamari's turn to be baffled now. "How?" she asked, as her brothers tried to struggle. Naruto grinned his signature grin, inner decapitation technique. "We learned it from Kakashi-sensei." Kakashi smirked with pride, as Asuma paid him his money. Life is good. Later, after getting the Suna ninjas out, Tsunade congratulated the team, and told them their vacation will be next week. Sakura, elated, hugged Naruto, much to the annoyance of Sasuke, who wasted no time in prying them off. "Get off of me." "Not until you get off of Naruto." Hinata shook her head until she felt someone tap on her shoulder. She turned, and saw that it was her cousin. "Yes?" "Hinata-sama, I mean Hinata-senai." Hinata cut him off. "What is it?" Hinaheim." The pale-skinned ninjas turned to see a fellow pale-skinned ninja, Sai, coming toward them. "Sai? What's wrong?" "What? I can't come see you." "Well, of course you can, but what?" Hinata frowned at her friend, annoyed that she was interrupted. Was something troubling Sai? Sai was the first to break the silence. Naruto seems busy. Hinata turned to what her friend was looking at to see her blonde best friend, holding Sakura back from a very irate Uchiha. Yup, do you want to have lunch? Hinata's head turned sharply in surprise. Just you and me? Yeah, sure. Why not? Hinata's frown deepened. Sai had never asked her out alone before. Did he want to speak with her privately? Actually, Hinata turned to her awkward cousin. Yes. I was wondering if we could talk over lunch. Hinata blinked at him, her poker face set. I apologize, but I don't have an appetite, so I'll be leaving first. Without another word, she coolly walked away from the boys, much to the annoyance of Sai. Thanks a lot, Hyuga, he spat, as he walked away from the ponytailed genin. Niji glared after him, but said nothing. How am I supposed to fix things? The next day, Naruto was awoken by Hinata shaking him. Get up. Naruto opened his eyes, still exhausted from yesterday's activities, but he became alert the moment he noticed what Hinata was wearing. She was wearing a black midriff-bearing, sleeveless top, and shorts. Fishnets, as her arm gloves, and stockings with her knee-high black boots to finish the look. Is something happening? Naruto asked wearily. Hinata smirked. Don't worry your pretty little head, I've just got jobs to do, but I need to leave now. Now? So you're not seeing me off to Suna? Hinata nodded, and leaned in to kiss her childhood friend on the forehead when she saw the look on his face. Take care, and enjoy yourself. Naruto's expression was as sour as before, but was still a little miffed. He gave a quick peck to her cheek in response. You too. Later, Sakura was ecstatic, and couldn't contain her excitement at an all-expenses-paid vacation. Aren't you guys excited? Sasuke rolled her eyes. Naruto and Kakashi aren't here yet, so could you bloody keep still? It's annoying. Sakura scowled, but before she could say something, she heard a familiar greeting. Yo? Sakura grinned, and ran over to hug Naruto, much to the chagrin of the other teammate. Kakashi, who was beside Naruto, went over to the brooding Uchiha. Good morning, Sasuke. Kakashi sighed, and called out to his other students, come on you two. Let's get moving. Meanwhile, did you manage to talk to Wani-san? Niji flinched, and Hanabi sighed when she saw it. I'll take that as a no. Niji felt guilty, and wished this wasn't the topic of conversation that his cousin had to bring on his way to escorting her to the academy. I apologize to Hanabi-sama. I did try, but she's bitter. Hanabi guessed. No, I think to be honest I am not all sure. She controlled her expressions and emotions around me, as if she was closing herself off. It sounds to me like she is bitter, Hanabi admitted. Niji had nothing to say to that, so Hanabi went on. What the clan did, what my father did, was inexcusable. When I become head, I will welcome Wani-san back. Niji was startled, but she doesn't have the Hyuga eyes, Hanabi-sama. So what? She is my sister by blood. Just because they took her eyes out and replaced it with something else does not mean that the blood inside her has changed. She is still my sister. Hanabi was crying now, and Niji awkwardly moved closer to her and patted her head. I know you love her, Hanabi-sama. Hanabi sniffled. Don't you too? Niji, for once in his life, was speechless. Though I love my cousin. The one I grew up with. Deep into the woods, far off from Konoha, there were wanted shinobi wearing Akatsuki robes packing up. We're going to try capturing the Kyuubi brat again. Yes, and hopefully he's in the village this time around. Yeah, and let's do it more sneakily this time, yeah. It'll be annoying if we run into that green spandex guy and his merry friends, you know. You're right. We'll be more inconspicuous this time. I'm impressed by Kisum, you actually look human. Haha, Kisum says, as he rolls his eyes at his partner's humor. Kisum had changed his appearance to a form where he looked more humane, tan skin, dark blue hair, and hazel eyes. Itachi, being a former leaf ninja, had a more different appearance, his hair now white and wrinkles gone. He had turned off his Sharingan, and wore sunglasses. Both Akatsuki ninjas wore mist headbands, as a cover. I think we should be okay and we won't be bothered, Kisum says to his partner. Perhaps it was Itachi's solemn reply. Niji nai. The two wanted ninjas turned to see two Hyugas in an alley, a small girl and a teenage boy. Siblings, Kisum thought. Itachi's eyes narrowed, recognizing the users. Niji Hyuga, Hinata's older cousin. Hanabi Hyuga, Hinata's younger sister. How could you lose all love for Nisan? I had never said that, the Hyuga male had protested. Then? Why did you look so dumbfounded when I asked? Because I had heard her. Kisum almost jumped at his voice, and looked around to see if anyone was watching the two, as well, but apparently there weren't any. But Itachi knew better. He knew the people in the village would perk their ears up. They may seem like they were ignoring the Hyugas, but they were paying attention. You could tell because the villagers were slowing their movements. The leaf villagers lived for gossip. Niji breathed deeply to calm down. I put Hinata in the hospital, and it took Naruto, the most annoying and dumbest ninja of his cohort, to knock some sense into me. I took my anger out on Hinata, and hurt her deeply. I was horrible. I was her original protector, I am her direct cousin, and I was so mean to her. I was wrong to treat her the way I did, yet I've known that for a while now, but I have not apologized to her. Hanabi took a while to process his words before finally speaking. You haven't apologized. Niji shook his head, looking ashamed. The clan heiress moved to hold his hand to comfort him. Let's go see Hinata, Wani-san. For the first time he could ever recall, he saw Hanabi give him a genuine smile. With Team 7, Sakura groaned, "Can we rest now?" Sasuke rolled her eyes, seeing that she was tired, loser. Kakashi shook his head, "We can have a short break." Stop at the huge oak tree up ahead. Sakura breathed a sigh of relief, and moved to where Naruto had stopped. "That's a large canteen you have, Naruto-kun." "Yeah, well, Suna is a long way away. Wouldn't you want to get dehydrated, you know?" "Wow, that's a big word for you, dope," Sasuke says, as she lands next time his side from the branch above. "Don't be mean, Sasuke," chided Sakura before taking a swig of her own canteen. Sasuke rolled her eyes, and Sakura's eyebrow twitched in annoyance. Seeing this, Sasuke just smirked at her in amusement before drinking from her own bottle. Naruto's sweat dropped watching his teammates. "Everyone has drank already?" Kakashi asked from his perch on the branch above them. "Yes," the Genins answered in unison. "Then let's get moving, kids." "Hi." Then, they set off. At Konoha, Itachi suggested to kiss him to separate so as to cover more ground. His partner had agreed, and the two left on their own ways. Kisum went to check on Naruto's house, whereas Itachi decided to go a different route on his own. "Is it Nai-san?" Niji nodded before knocking on the door. "At least she's living in a better apartment building than Naruto's. His apartment building looks on the verge of shutting down soon enough." Hanabi said nothing, and stared at the door before losing her patience, and knocked on the door loudly herself just 5 seconds later. Niji looked at her disapprovingly. "Hanabi-sama. What? Your knocking wasn't loud enough." Itachi smirked in amusement when he saw a frustrated expression cross the pale Hyuga's face at his cousin's answer. "If you're looking for Hinata, she's out. What is your business with her?" Recognizing the cool, monotone voice, Itachi lowered himself so that only his eyes could be seen from the window ledge if anybody bothered to turn. "Sai-san." Niji acknowledged. "Who is this creep?" Hanabi asked aloud. Sai narrowed his eyes in distaste. "Obviously you are nothing like your sister. May only Kami-sama understand why your father would rather be a brat like you, as his heiress, compared to a respectable, polite young lady like Hinata." The young Hyuga glared at Sai, but Sai just ignored her, and turned to the other Hyuga. "What are you doing here?" "We wanted to see Hinata." "For? Why do you care?" asked Hanabi, rudely. "Because I'm a friend that actually cares about her compared to her own family." Hanabi flushed then, and Sai continued. "Hinata was out. She wouldn't be back for a while, so I suggest you try tomorrow if you feel like your business with her is that important." Niji nodded, taking Hanabi's hand in hers. "Then, we'll leave." Sai watched him go blank, much to the discomfort of the two Hyugas who hurried out, and Itachi watching all of this saw that it was time for him to leave, but before he could move to do so, he was caught. "Come in, you nosy weasel." Resisting the urge to smile in good humor at the nickname, he entered the building to meet Sai's calculating eyes. "Are you going to kill me?" "No." Itachi was surprised. "No." Sai shook his head. "I will not kill you because I know why you did what you did." Itachi flinched, and the pale-skinned teen continued. "It was an order from Danzo. I knew this because I came across your file in Danzo's archives." "And you kept this to yourself?" Itachi asked, dubious. "Of course I did, because if I told the others, they would drop everything to search for you to bring you back." Itachi raised an eyebrow, but kept silent. "I love Hinata, and I want her to stop pining over you. I want to cure her heartbreak and make her fall in love with me." Now that proclamation caught Itachi off guard. He stared at Sai in complete shock, unable to say anything. "I understand why you erased Sasuke's memories, as well, because you knew that your brother liked Hinata, as well. Now that is untrue," Itachi says firmly, cutting off his former pupil. "I erased Sasuke's memories of Hinata because I did not want his path, as an Avenger, to be tied with hers. She can strive to do so much, as a Kunoichi, if she was not held back. Of course she can," agreed Sai. "But do you still love Hinata?" "Why ask me what you already know?" Sai clenched his fists. "Why? You know she'll never forgive you for what you did." "I know, so why?" "Because I can never stop loving her, like how I'll continue to look out for Sasuke, as I look out for you, and Naruto. I was proud of being your sensei, as Ambuteen Weasel. You, Naruto and Hinata had been a second family to me." Sai gritted his teeth, but the Uchiha continued. "I'll never stop caring for you guys, and I'll continue to love Hinata, as I please. You cannot stop me, Sai." Before the Anbu root member could retort, Itachi disappeared in a swirl of leaves. When they reached Suna, Team 7 was greeted by Gar and his siblings. Naturally, Naruto was the first to greet them. "Hey guys." Naruto grinned, waving enthusiastically. Temari smiled, and welcomed him with a hug, which Naruto returned, feeling warm. Temari was like a sister to him. He enjoyed learning wind techniques from her, and their sparring sessions. She was fun, wicked smart, and just plain cool. He felt genuinely touched when he told her that he was like Gar, and she didn't hesitate to tell him that it wouldn't change anything, and not to mention, it was the first time she called him brother. "Yes, I have 2 brothers." Once the 2 wind users finally pulled away, Kakeru slapped the younger blonde on the back, surprising him, but Naruto smiled sheepishly in return, as he high-fived Kankuro to show him no harm done. Gar, the youngest of the siblings, saw Naruto turn to him, and hold out his hand for a handshake. His fellow took it only to be pulled by his friend to him, embracing him. Gar's eyes widened in shock, but awkwardly moved his hands to hug the loud genin back. Kakashi watched all this, smiling a little that the children of the 4th Hokage and 4th Kazekage were getting along so well compared to their fathers before they died. Kakashi remembered that his sensei wasn't fond of the Sans 4th Kazekage, calling him tactless and merciless. Naruto pulled away from Gar, grinning. So where are we staying? Temari beamed, taking her fellow blonde by the arm, with us. Sasuke and Sakura seethed seeing this. More competition. Seriously. Hinata in the meantime was limping her way to Konoha with a large and long open wound on her arm. She cussed as she limped, her knee turning a very worrying shade of blue. Bloody guards, it was the last thing she said before everything went black. Once the Konoha Inn had settled in, they were treated to a delightful meal of Suna's delicacies, and much to the surprise of Naruto's teammates, they saw the usual only eat ramen blonde eating food other than his favorite. They watched in awe, as he used the silver cutlery to cut into his meat. Wow dope, I thought you only knew how to use chopsticks, Sasuke commented. I agree, Sakura says. The blue-eyed blonde sword dropped, seeing his teammates actually agreeing on something, and on that matter no less. Kakashi shook his head. Just because Naruto only seems to eat ramen around you a lot, does not mean he can't eat other things. If not in Konoha that is. With a pang, Kakashi remembered how awful it was for him to hear from the Sandaime that the innocent boy of 5 had been fed poisoned food, regardless if it was the orphanage or restaurants the small boy had begged from for scraps. He looked over at the beaming Naruto, as he chatted with the Sabaku siblings. How did he get over all that pain, that loneliness, and all that suffering to be the cheerful guy he was today? The masked man hoped to ask him one day. Kiss him. The blue-skinned ninja turned around to look at Itachi. What? There's something I need to do. I'll meet you back at HQ eventually. The ex-Mist Nin looked at Itachi for a long time before finally relenting. Alright, see you. He turned and walked away, as Itachi watched his back. Once the former Mist Nin was clear from sight, he turned off his Sharingan, blinked his eyes several times to ease the pain, and then finally turned to walk down the path in the opposite direction. A strong feeling inside him told him to be cautious, and it tugged at his heart, reminding him of the last time he felt this way, which was the time Hinata lost her eyes. Something had happened to Hinata, and he intended to find out what. Naruto yawned, tired from the long journey. He dried his hair vigorously, eager to go to bed and sleep. Suddenly, he heard a knock on his door, so he stopped, cast the towel aside, and approached to open the door to find Sakura there, looking distressed in her baby pink camisole and shorts. Sakura, what's wrong? Did something happen? He asked, concerned by her expression. Can we talk? Naruto blinked, but before he said anything else, the Kunoichi spoke again. May I come in? Something in Itachi's gut told him to go to the river he could hear nearby, and he did. What he found there froze his blood. Hinata lay there, motionless and bloody. He wasn't sure she was breathing. He rushed over to her with his heart pounding wildly in his chest. He checked her pulse, and found it, but it was weak, a little surprised considering how much blood there was, but not that he wasn't grateful though. He did the hand signs he had remembered from his Anbu training, as quickly as he possibly could, and his hands glowed green much to his relief, before proceeding to heal the long cut on her arm. Please let her be okay, he whispered, praying. Oh gosh, she lost so much blood. Naruto, I just wanted to say I'm so sorry Naruto. The blonde looked at Sakura wondering what the hell she was apologizing for. I treated you so badly that Sasuke was a guy. It was unforgivable of me to treat you the way. No one deserved to be treated that way. No one did. I am so sorry. Sakura, it's okay, you've changed, and I'm really proud of you. But, I treated you like crap. I've been treated worse than Sakura. Naruto told her, smiling sadly. What do you mean? Who? Naruto shook his head. Sakura-chan, I'm tired, do you mind leaving me please? She tried to argue, but please he told her, holding her by the shoulders so that she could meet eyes with him. Naruto sighed then, seeing Sakura's pleading, but determined eyes, and closed his own, trying to think of what to do. But before he could open his eyes again, he felt warm lips pressing against his own, so he opened his eyes only to see Sakura with her hands on his chest, her lips against his. He gently pulled away, and frowned. Sakura, I love you Naruto-kun. Naruto swears he could hear Kyuubi laughing at him in his mindscape. Bastard, I don't like you in that way, Sakura, he told her firmly, but in a soft tone. She was still his teammate after all, and he didn't want to hurt her. But I need to wake up early tomorrow. Gaara wants to hang out. Naruto, thank you for your feelings, but I can't return them, and I'm sorry, the blonde tells her. Sakura started to cry, and Naruto moved close to her again to brush her tears away. Kindly, you'll find someone one day, Sakura. One day. But that guy isn't me. That night, Sakura left the room, embarrassed and hurt from the rejection, while the blonde heartbreaker moved to his bed and had a restless sleep that night. The next morning, Hinata woke up better rested than she had been in weeks, though that wasn't saying much. She closed her eyes for a moment, trying to savor the peace for a heartbeat longer. When her eyelids began to glow orange from the light of the rising sun hitting her face, the 13-year-old, closing into 14 soon enough, admitted defeat and rubbed the heel of her hand against her face. She frowned, trying to remember last night. She turned her head back to the warmth she was snuggling into, and wondered if she had lazily dragged her ass to sleep in Naruto's bed again. She did that sometimes because his house was closer to her own from the gate. He usually chided her for it, but didn't really mind. With much difficulty, Hinata managed to get the sand out of her eyes, and was appalled not to mention disgusted, when she finally opened her eyes fully to find herself in the arms of the Itachi Uchiha aka mass murderer of the Uchiha clan aka Hyuga Hinata's ex-fiancé. Itachi grabbed her hand, stopping Hinata's attempt to kill him with her kunai. Good thing I'm a light sleeper, and since her awakening, or I would be a dead man right now. Let go of me. Not until you give me your word you will not attack me for today. He told her calmly, much to her frustration. Why would I say such a thing? Itachi looked at her coolly, his obsidian onyx eyes boring into her own, because firstly I need to re-bandage your wounds again. Second, you're still weak from your injuries, and third, you still love me. The former Hyuga glared daggers at him. How dare you? Don't deny it, his voice is softer now. Hinata continued to glare at him with as much hate and anger as she could muster in her gaze. What makes you so sure? Because you are the love of my life, Hinata, and I am yours. We're soulmates, he told her, his eyes studying her for her reaction. Naturally, the younger girl was taken aback by his proclamation. I love you. Itachi's face inched closer, and Hinata turned away, her voice so quiet it was almost a whisper. Please don't, you're a criminal, and a traitor. Do you really believe I would kill my mother and traumatize my brother voluntarily? He asked her. The reputable secret assassin whipped her head back to look at him, her eyes wide. Don't tell me. Itachi nodded silently. My intention was to never tell anyone this. I thought I wanted to carry this secret to the grave, but so much has happened to you and I can't just ignore everything that's going on. I want to be in your life. I miss you so much that you couldn't even believe it. I have never stopped loving you, my angel. Hinata closed her eyes, trying to calm her emotions. Itachi waited until she finally spoke again. Tell me everything, and I want the truth. No more deception from you. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.